you all. How are you doing? All right? It's been a long day. You still here? Physically, mentally, spiritually? I've spent many years, both as an economist, but also as somebody looking at demographics, wondering and researching the question of how we deal with our lifespans, what a lifespan actually means, how economies can afford to deal with large segments of their populations who are no longer working, and what it means to actually have a retirement. For years, these questions were very important to me as a researcher, as somebody who served in government. They've become more personal to me because I'm now retired. But I realized that my definition of retirement, it may be different for you, my definition of retirement is doing more of what you want to do and less of what you don't want to do. It doesn't mean sitting around watching television. I'm just as busy as I was before. In fact, my wife says, and she accuses me of being busier than I was before. The question, I think, that needs to be asked in terms of longevity is not just the quality of life, but also health spans. How healthy are we? How healthy are we physically? How healthy are we in terms of our ability to simply navigate in the world? How healthy are we in terms of our mental health? How long does that go on? Now, as economies become wealthier, and Malaysia is becoming wealthier at the same time as it is aging. Now, that's not a coincidence, because as societies become wealthier, they also are aging, because there is better health care for people, hopefully. There are more options for people, hopefully. There are more ways in which the society can afford to keep people healthy longer. So this is not a bad problem to have. In fact, if anything, let me congratulate Malaysia on having this conference, but also having this as a problem. Aging is not a problem. Having more people who are able to age is not a problem. The problem is one of distribution of wealth and income. And let me say that again, because this is a very, very important conceptual and practical leap. As a society becomes wealthier, it can afford to provide people with better health care and also afford to help people with retirement after they work or when they can no longer work and generate income. But the interesting question is, will a society do that? How does a society think about distributing the wealth that it has? When I think about the question of distribution, I think primarily about three separate things. One has to do with demographics. A second has to do with globalization. A third has to do with technology. And I want to spend a little time with you on each of these questions because they are very live questions for all of us, not just in